Folks, what's up? You're listening to Real Laughs right here on Real Radio 104.1. I'm Mike Hurley, your host for tonight, along with my co-hosts, Mr. James John and Mr. Miguel Colon Jr. Miguel, how you been doing, man? What's going
Hey,
on?
good, man. It's been a while, I think, since we've been on a show together. Like we've had
Yeah.
conflicting weekends, which is cool because we've been booked. But
hmm
sometimes it feels like when I'm not on the show with everybody, it feels like I'm really not on the show. Like
Yeah.
and when I don't have like a full week with everybody, I feel like I've been missing a lot.
Yeah. I always feel like whenever I miss like a Sunday recording, Jeff Kaufman is somewhere going, I bought that guy a $300 microphone and he
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
even show up to listen to me talk about Spider-Man and Law every week.
Ah, bring me
I
his
hope
head,
he
Kelly.
better be
Bring me his
listening
head.
to Under Oath every Saturday on Real Radio 104.1.
Kelly, bring me his
Yeah.
head. That's
And
funny.
James, how you been doing, man? What's going on?
I've actually been doing really good, man. I've been having some pretty good shows here lately, man. You know how
Yeah.
you get in a funk sometimes? You're like, man, my set just doesn't feel the same to me, man. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this job. And then all of a sudden you have a string of shows. You're like, oh, this is what I was meant to do. That's how I
Yeah.
feel lately, bro.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, I've never had that feeling. It's just been that string of this isn't right. This isn't it. This isn't good. But
Damn,
yeah,
Mike.
no, man. I used to look at my calendar. If I wasn't booked 5.5 months out, if there was an open
Yeah.
weekend 5.5 months out, I was like, how am I going to pay my bills that weekend? Now it's just
Yep.
common not to have a full month worth of work. And I hate those shows where you've been off or haven't really had a full show in like 2 or 3 weeks. What I'll
Yeah.
do, I had to do it this past week. I was headlining the Improv last Thursday, and I hadn't done a
Mhm.
full headliner set. Like I'd done some guest spots and maybe hosted and featured, but I hadn't done a full set anywhere in a while. So Wednesday night
Mm.
before the show, I went down to Kevin Dean's room there in St. Cloud, Brews and Blues, just to touch a mic. And
Uh-huh.
it's like if you haven't been on a mic in a while, it's like let me go up tonight, bomb here, so I can do good tomorrow on the paid show. And yeah, man, it was so much easier before COVID to just have gigs every weekend and just be in your
Yeah.
total confident. This is what I do. Now, if I take like 2 weeks off, that first show back is always like I hope this works out. I hope this goes right.
I
It's
hope
funny,
they
Mike.
still
You were
work.
talking, yeah, you were talking about bombing at Mike's, and I was just watching something on ESPN online about how many times like practice squads put it on the actual team. We don't get that information, but practice squads sometimes dominate and beat the teams because the
Wow.
practice squad is putting everything into this.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the teams, and I think about that at Mike's because I felt like the ESPN article was like, it's just sometimes ridiculous to see these amazing teams getting beat by the practice squad. I'm like, sometimes they're just working on new stuff, okay? Okay, leave them alone. Sometimes it's a new play they wanted to work out, and they just,
Uh,
they didn't know everybody would be there watching. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's what
exactly
it
right.
is. You got those it's like that Cypress Hill song. It's like I know there's someone out there wanting what
yes,
I have coming after me. There's gonna be another
Mhm.
me doing this next year, doing a little bit different from what I did. You forget sometimes that these guys that want to be hosts, they're gunning for the feature job, and that feature is
yeah,
gunning to bury the headliner. And me, I'm just like, oh man, I hope I'm done selling merch by 10:30 so I can be home in bed.
yes.
True
Mike,
that.
that's hilarious. You bring that up, and to the listeners, I think sometimes one of the things that's most disheartening for comics is when you meet comedians that are like people you've looked up to. For us, it's a lot of like big comics that we wanted to work with and stuff. And you want that experience. You're like, this is gonna be great. I'm working with this guy this week, all week. Maybe we'll go out and grab some dinner after the show and stuff. But you forget that this guy, he's working hard and he's with his agent on the phone all the time. So like during the shows, a lot of times I'm like, hey, you're my guy, you're my opener, cool. And you can see in their face, like, God, I hope this guy doesn't want to hang out. And I'm
Mhm.
like, cool. I,
Mhm.
I like when you can see in their face that they
Yep.
really wanted the green room to themselves, but they'll share it. But
Yeah.
they're hoping you have something else to do.
Mhm.
Yep. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you got the guys that are just like on the road in town. They still love being a comedian. And after the show ends, you've done 2 shows at the Improv. It's already after midnight. And they're like, hey, man, you want to stick around and do some karaoke for a while? It's like,
A
No, bro.
la Carlos Mencia every
Yeah.
single time
They
we work
upgraded me
with
to the
him.
Clarion room with the king bed. So I'm pretty
Yeah,
excited to watch some Law
yeah.
and Order.
Lord,
yeah.
yes. I want to hear boom boom.
Boom,
That's
I'm
it
boom,
like,
before
boom,
I go to
boom,
bed.
boom.
yeah, Gold Rush is doing the whole first season nonstop. I got to get back and make sure they hit 18 ounces. Otherwise, they're packing up going back to Minnesota. It's
There you go.
ridiculous.
There you go.
Yeah, no, man. So I had a good last week. Thursday night I was at the Improv, and that was one of those shows I was a little not nervous about doing, but I hate whenever there's restrictions put on your set. Like I just want to
Yeah.
go on stage and do my set my way every time. I understand if I'm doing a country club or if I'm doing a corporate gig, a lot of times there's restrictions on language and material. And those shows always feel different. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
yes, I'm a comedian, but tonight you're hiring me to be an entertainer, and there's a difference. So I was doing the show at the Improv, and we had a pretty good show, about 250 people. They had cut off tickets early because they already had half the room sold out to the Orange County Public School Alumni Association, and that's why they had put some restrictions on about content and language and everything else. And then the GM was nervous that we were gonna just get rid of the rest of the tickets because things were going so well, so they put a lock on. We ended up probably. The GM gave me a bonus for a sold out show, which was how close we were.
Nice.
Which was nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and she was like, if I hadn't put that lock on, we would have filled up that last of the back row. But it turned out really well, to the point of I was nervous about it, just because as soon as someone tells you not to swear or not to talk about something, I never want to swear or talk about something more, just like mentally. And then the couple of people opening for me, I saw them slipping up and dropping a word or a topic here that I'm like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure we can't talk about that. We can't do that. But it went really well. And afterwards, I actually got to talk with some of the people from the Orange County Public School. And they actually suggested, they're like, hey, how would you feel? First of all, I didn't know there were so many schools in Orange County. There's like a ton of schools. They had all the logos of all the schools.
I like when the alternative school shows up. They're just all beat, cigarette dangling from their mouth. They're like, listen, we don't have to worry about school shootings over here. Our kids are armed.
That's right. The school shooters should be worried about showing up. Yeah. But one of the women, the head of the organization, came up to me and she's like, hey, how would you feel about coming out and doing some career days for us? And I'm like, if you're looking for someone who tell children what not to get into, I'm your man. Like I kind of felt like that was what they want me to do. They want me to go there, explain how little I make on a Thursday night in Orlando, Florida, doing stand-up comedy. So kids will be like, well, I guess I'm going to stay in my STEM classes then. That's ridiculous. Like, you make what? Like I make more than that on my Twitch stream, dude. Come on, man.
In the middle of you talking, one of the kids just stands up. He's like, hey, me and the class pulled $50 together. Make us laugh. And you're like, I got to stop talking, teach. So 2 Irish bartenders walk into a funeral. You listening, kid?
Yeah, I'd still do a merch pitch. I don't care what grade I'm doing career day for. I'm like, by the way, Father's Day is coming up. Joining us right now in virtual studio, of course, Ken Miller. Ken, how you doing, man?
Hey.
Okay.
Love the energy.
All right. Love it.
He's like in what was that movie, The Longest Yard, the remake with Adam Sandler, when they have when they have that one prisoner doing the color play commentary in the football game, and he's just like,
yeah. He's like Indian, right?
Yeah.
Just one word, yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I just popped in, man. So the show went good.
Yeah, it went good, man. I was just saying, it's weird to do shows when people put restrictions on what you can and can't do. It always feels kind of watered down, but it turned out really great, actually. And then Saturday night, I was at Twisted Root. You guys,
Root, baby.
Twisted Root, right? And Twisted Root was amazing because it was the most people they've ever had in that room.
Nice.
Was it Bisbee and Mark, the guys who run the room over there?
Yeah.
2 nice guys. They were pulling those little decorative barrels out from the
To make
corners.
room?
No, to use them as tables for people that they pull bar chairs around. So it was just a packed room, and it was such a good show. But here's what happened, man. I actually wanted to get your advice on this, really. So I go up. We had Brad Schutz hosting. Larry Fulford came out there to guest spot. Charlie Bowie came out of retirement. Like, I didn't even know Charlie was going to be featuring there. I didn't know Charlie was doing stand-up anymore.
Came out with a 45 jersey on.
Yeah, he hasn't been on stage since like December or something. Talk about knocking the rust off. But he came out and featured. I went up, and man, it was one of those shows where just like your first joke, they're just on board, and you're like, oh man, this is great. So I'm like 7 minutes in, and I just noticed this woman 2 rows back, and she's holding her phone like up over the head of the guy in front of her. And I'm like looking, going, oh, she can't be recording. And then I give it a second because I'm like, oh, maybe she's just taking a picture or something. Nope. She's still holding it there. So I'm trying to do that thing where I'm motioning to her while I'm still doing a joke, like pointing to her and trying to put, and she doesn't get the hint. So finally I just turned to her. I'm like, hey, is everything okay with your phone? Do you need a drink? You're holding your phone. And she just goes, oh, I'm just recording your set. Just like that. And I just went, well, if you could not, that'd be great. In fact, if you can stop recording, I'll give you a DVD after the show. That way you got like good quality. And she's like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, it's just kind of not cool to record someone's whole set. And she got really like weird about it. She's like, whatever. And she put her phone down. But then the whole audience vibe changed in that one little interaction. Like, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. Like, I feel like, yeah, but the audience went from loving everything like night or day. It took me, when I tell you, it was 10 minutes before I got everybody back on board with something. And even then, that woman wasn't the same for the rest of the night. Like, everybody would be laughing and she would just be like looking down at the table or something. I'm like, you went from thinking I was funny enough that you have to record
my set
to now I'm nothing. So I was going to ask you guys, because here's the thing. Nowadays, it's so annoying to look out in the audience to see someone full on recording your set. Plus, I saw someone, I was at a show with Kevin White. They were live streaming his set. Like, you saw all the little notifications going up on the side, like the hearts and stuff. And I think audience members don't understand, man. This is our bread and butter. This is how we make money. I don't need you. I want to be in charge of what content I put out there. So number one, I guess I'll ask you guys, are you cool with people recording you like that during the show? And then the other thing is, how do you handle it? Like, I don't feel like I handled it right because I don't want to lose the audience like that.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you this. I think no, I'm not cool with it. Just because I've seen, and I used to think I was okay with it, but I've even seen clubs use clips that they made of me that I'm like, that's the worst clip you could ever make of me. Like, I don't want you to promote me with the worst stuff ever. And I don't know how to handle it, but I do think we all need to just get to the point where every host needs to bring up, hey guys, no video recording, no audio recording. Afterwards, the comics will take videos with you and pictures and stuff. I do think it needs to be addressed at least once. And my thing is, when something's addressed once, it's easier for when we bring it up now not to be the shocking thing. But it always reminds me when they're holding the phone like that. Do you remember in Back to the Future when he's like, it's your cousin Marvin Berry. Like, listen to this,
Yep.
And that's how I feel they are. They're just holding it in your face. And it's like, no, enjoy. How are you enjoying this experience? You're not enjoying this experience. You're watching it through something else.
That's like back when you home video cameras first became a thing, and you would go to Disney, and there was just that one dad, like he was with Channel 6 News, holding on his shoulder, and just he's viewing his whole vacation through the eyepiece. It's like, man, I know you want to capture all these memories, but maybe sit down and enjoy them. Plus, nobody ever goes home and watches that vacation footage. They might get home and show it to like one neighbor who didn't want to be there. But
no one has ever gone back and watched their birth of their child.
Yeah,
never.
No one's ever done
the
that.
creation of their child like 7 times.
Yeah,
back and forth.
Look at
that.
Tape.
That's when I knew it was going to be a boy. Look at the way she shook.
Gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah, that was your sister right there on her face.
I'm actually really interested in getting your opinion on this because, like I said, it's something I need to work on, need to fix. And this was also something that wasn't a problem or as predominant 10, 11, 12 years ago. So we're going to take a quick break right here on Real Laughs. When we get back, I'm going to talk to you guys, and hopefully you can help me figure this out because, man, I felt horrible. All right, stay tuned. You're listening to Real Laughs right here on Real Radio 104.1.
The turntables may wobble.
That was the first segment.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll get back into this in 5. Stop. Reset. Okay. Welcome back, folks. You're still listening to Real Laughs right here on Real Radio 104.1. I'm Myke He joined in virtual studio tonight with Ken Miller, Miguel Colon Jr., and James Jean. Now, before the break, I was talking about something that happened to me this weekend, and it's happened more and more often. Where, the technology nowadays, everybody has a TV studio in their pocket. Everybody has a recording studio in their pocket. And what we're getting more and more of is people showing up at shows and just pulling out their phone and recording your material, recording your set. And it's in one hand, it's flattering that you enjoy it so much that you want to share it with other people. But in the day of age where social media is everything, it's almost like I don't like the idea that I'm producing content for you to use to advance yourself when I expect to use this content myself. I think we've all been in a situation or known somebody in a situation where a video that they were in that someone else took went viral. And then when they try to post their own video, it doesn't get anywhere near the likes or the following. I think, what was the comic? James, Ken, Miguel, you might remember. Was it Roz
McCoy.
G?
Yeah, Roz McCoy. That fell off the stage.
Yes. Is it Roz McCoy? It was Roz McCoy.
Yes.
So, friend of the show, comedian Roz McCoy, she's doing a show up in that was Jacksonville, Florida. And she's hosting the show, and she's doing a bit, and she wanders a little bit towards the stage. She's wearing heels. She has that, giraffe baby gazelle moment where she loses her balance and falls right off the stage.
She got big breasts.
That too.
Some
people are more top heavy than others.
She said it herself. That ain't me.
It was like a candy apple in the wind. That's what happened. It just got pushed over off its little stick into the audience, fell into a table. And this is one of those venues where the tables are right up on the stage. So she knocked it out. So here's the thing. Roz was not wanting to post that video because she was a little bit embarrassed, but she had a copy. But another comedian who was there had recorded it, posted it. The thing went viral. Now his account got all the following and all the views, and she went to try and post it, and it never works when you're second to the party. So I guess what I'm asking guys is, and Miguel already touched on it a little bit, how do you control the fact when audience members are recording, but you still want to stay the good guy? So James, have you had any experience with this before?
All the time. And
really?
Yes, a lot. Here's what happens normally. Somebody will come see me perform, and my ending bit's kind of known out there what I do. I strip down. So they know it's coming. So what I see a lot, people will have their phones out waiting for me to do it. And I guess I should be more concerned about it, but I never get that upset. Who goes ballistic if she's with me is my wife, because she's like, you guys are going to post this and you're giving away the surprise element of my ending bit, my big finale when you guys put it up there like that. So you could potentially ruin an experience for a potential future audience member when you do stuff like that, especially at a person's ending bit. So I can see why it would be cause for concern. But I guess like anything in life, it's all about approach. I mean, I don't think you said anything bad at all. You're just like, hey, could you just put that down? I mean, because some people, let's be honest, some comics are a lot more aggressive than that. So it could have got real turned up quick, but you didn't do that. So we do deal with a lot of entitlement though nowadays. Let's be honest. So she probably felt like, well, I'm here at this club. I'm buying stuff. I deserve to be able to tape you if I want. So dance, monkey.
I think Miguel kind of touched on it a bit. Back in my bartending days, as the bartender, you're usually the first one to notice someone's intoxicated or someone needs to get cut off or someone needs to leave or there's a situation forming. So in the bartending days, we got our door guys, we got our bouncers. And before I cut anyone off, I would go over to the bouncer and be like, hey, the guy at, 32 needs to get cut off. So then what would happen is a few minutes later, the bouncer would wander over and just go up to the guy and be like, hey, man, I think you're done for the night. And the guy would get all angry with the door guy. And the guy would actually look at me and be like, Mike, can you believe this guy's cutting me off? I'm like, hey, man, I don't make the rules. It's his job. If he says you got to go, you got to go. I'm sorry, man. I think you're fine. But, if you got to go. Because here's the thing. That guy still has to pay me, tip me, and feel welcome to come back the next time. So many times the guy would come back the next time and be like, yeah, man, I can't believe they cut me off last time. But him and I are still now friends, which is important because I'm tipping the door guy and the bar staff off of what this guy leaves me. So at the end of the day, you need to be the good guy and have someone else be the bad guy. I think a lot of venues are scared to be the bad guy. A lot of venues are scared to have someone go over. They're like, oh, let the comic handle it. No, dude, that is your job to police your own room.
But that's a new thing, I think, with newer clubs, them doing that way, because old school comedy clubs, there would be a bouncer in the actual showroom who would remove people when they say one thing. They're like, hey, like, even when they start, they don't even get started really. They just say one thing. There's people that come over to you. Hey, man, this is part of the show. Please don't say anything. Can you please be quiet? Keep your table talk down. You see that less and less now with all these new clubs opening up. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I don't see anybody policing a room anymore.
I think you see less and less them having the full staff they used to have for that.
Yeah.
You know, because now more days I'll see a dude who's bouncing, clearing tables, you know,
DJ.
Seating.
DJ running drinks. And then if it's
Lights.
a bar, the worst thing about a bar show is you get there and nobody knows anything about the show, and the person who paid, you got an envelope with cash. And the bartender's like, I don't know. I think we started 8:30. I don't know.
Oh, you need these TVs off? What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So you get to a bar show or something like that. I wonder how many other jobs have like similar parallels to we do on showing up and the place is unprepared for you, but they're expecting you to kill it. Because I, you know, like I bet you like plumbers, you know, they get there and they're like, what do you mean the bathroom's locked? That's the basic similarity of what it would be for us. You're a plumber and you get to your job like, sorry, the bathroom's locked. You have to figure it out. I'm just the guy who lives here, you know? I've gone to shows before where they didn't have the mic and nobody knew where it was.
Oh, I like that. I will say it turned out to be a great show. It took a few minutes to get everybody back on board, but it worked out great. And shout out to Steve Cates for coming out. A Real Laughs listener hit me up asking if he could get tickets. I've never met the guy. I said, yeah, come on out. Brought a buddy of his out and had a great time. And man, just really nice. He listens to us all the time. So Steve, thanks for heading out, man. Ken, how about you, man? I think we kind of touched on it a second ago. It is so important for the host or the recording, like even at the improv in the pre-recording, it says, hey guys, no videotape or photos. And that's why I thought about after this. There was no recording. The host, it's, you know, some of these clubs we work at, their whole notes to the host need to be updated to include, hey, everybody basically has a camera now. It's one thing if you warned the audience or told people like, hey, don't do this, and then they do it. But if you're the first one telling them for the night, hey, you can't be recording, that's unacceptable, and they haven't heard that rule in place yet, then yeah, they're going to get a little bit conversational, I guess, about it. So Ken, have you ever had to deal with this, or what's your best way to do it?
Well, you know me, Mike. If you ever see me at the improv, I say that before every comedian. Hey, remember, guys, don't forget, keep your table talk to a minimum. Put your cell phones away. No flash photography. I say that before every comedian comes out when I'm emceeing on the weekend. And a lot of the hosts that I help book are always, they do the same thing. Hey, make sure you table talk to a minimum. Or even if you're hosting for me, I tell that comedian before you go up, hey, make sure you do another table talk to a minimum. Put your phones away. As for recording, I did that room for Jose. What was that? The rich room, the real rich
London room.
The one where
London Brawl. Yeah, London Brawl.
We got to sign the waiver saying we won't videotape or discuss anything.
But a chick is going Facebook Live during my whole set. So I'll be like, yo, what you doing? She said, I'm going live like to who? To Vince Taylor. I'm like, but you going live to a comedian? Like he knows. So I didn't. I was just like, whatever. It is what it is. But for me, I honestly, man, I'm to the point now. I don't care. And the reason I don't care, I've been doing the same set for 8+ years. You're gonna number one, if you're gonna record this and put it out, trust me, somebody's seen it. Number two,
already,
who has that much damn space on their phone to record a 45-minute set? I don't know if you watch for the other comedians, but you're doing 45 to an hour. You telling me you're gonna sit there with your phone in your hand for 45 to almost 60 minutes recording my set, and then once you record it, what you doing with it?
You're never watching it again.
Wait, so now you got on your phone. You ain't got no space in your phone for nothing else because you got a 45-hour recording of a comedian that you're not gonna watch, man. When I'm at a concert, I get it. Like, you know, I record snippets. Oh, that's my song, and I put my phone away. But the people I see with their phone up the whole concert, 3 hours.
3 hours.
Like that's crazy to me, man. That's crazy. And the other thing too, Mike, and I pass the mic. I do something too now. When I start a show, I'll say when I'm hosting, hey guys, put your cell phones away. And I say, who in here 70s babies? Who's 80s babies? When our parents went out, they went out. You couldn't call your parent. You couldn't do that. No. Put your phone away. Matter of fact, my mama wanted one of us to die. Because it was because I'm the 8 of 11 kids. She wanted one of us to die. So I open up with a joke or something to let them know, put your phone away. It's 90 minutes. Put your phone up for 90 minutes, or they need to go back to what Chappelle and them do. They gonna end up locking these phones,
put them in the little zipper bags,
and you can't get to your phone because you decided to put your phone up for an hour and record an hour set, bro.
Somebody said
that's crazy to me.
Somebody said that to Abraham Zapruder in Texas when Kennedy was coming by. They're like, "Don't film it, just watch it. Just watch it. Why you want to film it?" You know?
Damn.
So I guess that's up there with my biggest pet peeve as far as what annoys me as far as audience etiquette. We talk a lot about comedian etiquette shows, but as far as audience etiquette, that's one of my pet peeves
like
right
you
now.
Handled it well. I don't feel like you said, and like James said, there's some comedians out there to be like, "Hey, B word, put you know."
Yeah.
You were like,
yeah,
"Hey, you don't
I just
mind."
couldn't understand why the whole audience kind of not turned, but I had such a good ride going, and that kind of slowed down. It just reminded me of Dane Cook. I think it was on his retaliation recording. He ends up going after some guy who's just talking loudly in the audience, and like the whole audience signs up. He's like, great. Now it's like we're all sitting around the dinner table, and Daddy just hit Mommy, and we're trying to finish our dinner now. It's like, don't worry, kids, everything's fine. Your father just gets upset from time to time. It was that awkwardness. But do you guys have something worse than that audience members do that just takes you out of the show and like will just ruin the night for you?
It's always going to be heckle. It's always always going to be the person that talks, and you're just like, bro, like
the drunk lady yeller.
Oh my!
Mine is the punchline beater. The one who keeps saying the punchline before you. They're like they're so excited. The person who they know your punchline. And they know where it's going, so they yell it out. And they keep saying your punchline before you get to it. They're excited because they solved the mystery.
Do the baby iguana joke. Well, you just did it. You just did it. I can't do it now because that's the thing. Do the joke where you pretend you're kidnapped when your parents took you on road trip. Oh, that's the joke, man.
Yeah, that's like shut up.
That's the punch.
The hecklers for me is always gonna be. Gonna be the one that just ruins my night. Especially even before if I see the comic before me getting heckled, I'm upset.
You're already
like,
in a
now
mood.
I gotta go deal with this. This person that understands, like what James said, entitlement. I paid. I got it. I paid. I bought drinks. I can say what I want. You can't. You can't. No. You can't, bro.
I can.
You just can't.
I'm going to have you removed. I'm going to keep your money. You're going to talk mad stuff about me on your social media, but then everybody else is going to come back at you like, no, I was there. You were drunk.
That's good on Yelp. You're going to get Yelp, Ken.
Yeah. Well, guys, we got to take a quick break right here on Real Laughs. When we get back, I'm facing a showdown of technology and lack of technology against my children in my own damn house. We'll talk about that right here. Oh, I'm losing on both ends, man. We'll talk about it right here on Real Laughs, Real Radio 104.1. You're still listening to Real Laughs right here on Real Radio 104.1. I'm Myke Hurley, joined in virtual studio with James John, Miguel Colon Jr., and Ken Miller. Now, I haven't seen some of you guys in a while. My oldest son had his birthday a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
happy birthday!
12 years old. Thank you.
12's a milestone. 12's a milestone because it's like, man, you're like, I don't know, 12. Daddy gets to give you counsel now and let you know some real stuff, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. And you 1 year away from beating.
Well, there you go. Scary thought. I won't be the only one locking myself in the bathroom for 30 minutes at a time anymore. Now I know why Daddy's in there so long. All right.
You're back when you're done, Dad.
So for his birthday, I went and got him. He had wanted one of these for a while. And I figured we'll give it a shot. Got him the VR Quest Oculus 2, the headset that lets you go into the virtual reality world. And here's the thing. I'm not a video game guy, but I slipped this thing on, and I gotta tell you, I'm having a blast, man. Like this thing is just amazing what you can do. Have any of you guys tried this before? The Oculus VR?
I tried it once, and I told you how jealous I was when you told me you got your son there, bro. It's amazing.
Miguel, you've done this over at the castle. They got that.
We got it. Mike's girlfriend Courtney got it one day, and it was funny because there's this job. There's a game in it where you're like it's basically like burger time. You're making burgers. And I was like, why am I enjoying this when this was my fear that I would be this old making burgers?
Yeah, Ken, have you tried the VR headsets yet or
not that one. A few years ago, Samsung they were giving like free VRs with your phone, and we got that one, but it's not as advanced as
It's the
this
box
one.
with the phone goes in, right?
Yeah. The phone goes in. Yeah,
this
it's not
is
as
Make believe,
advanced.
pretend. No.
Yeah, no, this is a whole different level. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but the last time I had any interaction with anything called VR was when Nintendo came out with that. What was it? The VR game,
Boy, virtual Game Boy,
which was you just put your
red
face into this binocular thing, and it was just red laser pointers going to one central point. It was more like line drawings than anything. There was no interaction. This thing, dude, you go in there, you slip it on, you set your little zone, and you just see everything. It's everything you wanted. It's Johnny Mnemonic, Matrix, and
it's lifelike when you put that thing on. I'm not
so
even joking.
crazy.
It's
so
nuts.
So my son's got into that, and I'm trying to keep up with him. We're playing some of those, Beat Saber games and the Star Wars stuff and some shooting games, and he is kicking my butt. Like, in my defense, number one, kids today much more in tune with technology as soon as they pick it up. And number two, he's on summer vacation. So I'm at work 8 hours a day. I come home and he's like 14 levels ahead of me on stuff. Okay.
Absolutely.
But this is where it gets even more messed up. My 8-year-old, I have bought him a Rubik's Cube for Christmas. All right. So we're going from VR to now one of the oldest toys I remember having as a kid. My 8-year-old now can take a Rubik's Cube, you name a color, and in 20 seconds, he will turn the face of that color solid, complete. He hasn't done the whole cube yet, but now he's like, if you say red, he's like, time me. And he turns it all red. I've never been able to complete a side of a Rubik's Cube in my life. But this is what I'm hating. Rather than him just be like, oh, yeah, I enjoy doing it. I'm like, hey, buddy, how about you try solving 2 sides now? He's like, can you do 1? I'm like, no. He's like, He shrugs his shoulders and walks away. And this kid is he's starting to get a little cocky, man. He's starting. So I spent this past weekend.
Who the hell talking right now,
dude?
Papa?
That don't sound like something you would say,
Ken. Ken, when I tell you, I spent 14 hours watching YouTube videos this weekend on how to do Rubik's Cube. 45 years I've lived my life not giving a damn about Rubik's Cube. All it takes is an 8-year-old with an attitude spiting me going, I'm like, you know what I'm going to learn to do? I'm going to learn to do a Rubik's Cube. So now I can get everywhere but like these last 2. And I'm going to watch another video after the show. And now in your face, and the kid's mom is like, can't you let them have anything? I'm like, no, because once they beat you at one thing, you're the old lion getting kicked out of the pride. There's a new lion in the pride now. I can't have that.
I'm gonna give you how my father's advice would have been for it. He'd have just came back with a hammer, smashed it, and said, make it all green. You need to definitely start drill instructor in your kids, Mike. You need to start giving them tasks they cannot complete. And just destroying them for not completing and making sure they're just physically exhausted and blaming each other for it, because they're gonna start talking and one of them is gonna be like, I can solve the Rubik's Cube. That was like, I'm beating Daddy in virtual. They're like, we could run this house.
That's what you get it. You get it.
Yep.
But this is what I did the other day when I finally learned to solve one side. My 8-year-old was sitting on the couch watching TV. And I walked up to him just like this. I walked up and I said, oh, look what I can do. And I did the last move, like right in his face, like some weird break into electric boogaloo, like, oh, yeah, watch this. Watch this. Stand back. Watch this. So now, it's funny because his mom is really just like, really? You're wasting your weekend learning? Wasting? Am I? Or am I maintaining dominance?
Yeah, my
control of this family.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't eat meat. She doesn't understand this world.
Once they know that they can beat you at something, they start thinking you're not the god they built you up to be. You know, I can't take that chance. Ken, you ever have that time with Junior when he realized maybe dad's not everything?
Basketball one time.
What?
And
how old?
Bro, he had to be like 19. So this is like 2 years ago. And he beat me, and dude, I was exhausted. It was one of them nights I done had a bender.
Here's all the excuses coming out already. Like, number one, I was hungover.
Yeah, he beat me, but other than that, like I will not play video games against my kids. There's no winning that.
You know
like,
better.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They not, but yeah, he beat me in basketball, man. I gotta give him props, bro. The kid beat me
because you
and
were
he's
sweating whiskey that day.
He's
You
looked at
won,
you
bro.
differently every day since, hasn't he?
You should.
Hey, Myke, and he drink now. I think the sweat. I think my sweat when I bumped him, some of that whiskey sweat got him. Now he drinking like me.
He's intoxicated.
That's funny.
What
Yeah,
about you,
Junior,
James?
you
You
did
ever have
basketball,
that young bull, old bull moment with one of your sons?
Yeah, when I need to learn how to use a new app on my phone, I know I got to go to them. They know how to do everything, and they know what the latest app's going to be or the new thing is going to be way before we do, bro. I've given up, Mike. I don't even try to fight it anymore. If I get anything new electronic, I'm like, fix this, and that's it.
Nope. I'm one of those people, dude. As soon as I see them interested in something, they go to bed and I hit Google or read a book, or I'm like that wrestling coach that they also make teach history. That's like, don't read a chapter ahead because I haven't read it yet myself.
Yeah. So they kill Braveheart at the end, and that's basically the Scottish Revolution.
Hey, I'm out.
What about you, Miguel? Was there ever a time your dad started to notice, like, oh man, I'm not a step ahead of this kid anymore?
I think that's when him and my mom split up. He's like, I'm out. You know? He's just like, I like beat him at Super Tecmo Bowl, and he's like, I'm leaving the family. You know, I'm out. Tell your sisters it was your fault. You know?
Wow.
Yo, bro. Hey, Miguel, I ain't never lost Super Tecmo Bowl game.
Because was it Walter Payton who was unstoppable? Who's unstoppable at
I played, it's Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson, yeah.
But I played with the 49ers. Downbeat, that pass play. I don't care if you blitz. You is not.
Wow.
I have never lost at Super Tecmo Bowl. I gotta see if that's a Guinness somewhere. That guy be a Guinness record somewhere. That guy be a Guinness record.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I got to do something because they're also next weekend, Father's Day. Actually, I'm driving them up to the airport. They're going up to upstate New York for 6 weeks. They go up every summer.
That's a good Father's Day gift. You're getting the house to yourself.
Yeah. What you want for Father's Day? My life back? What? I don't know. Something made out of macaroni. I don't know.
As a father, I'm so excited for Mike. I'm gonna go over to his house and walk around in my underwear. Like, that's
James got that same underwear since Obama was president.
True.
I don't know. I'm debating whether I'm going to let the oldest take his VR headset with him, because partly I'm like, dude, you're going up there to enjoy being part. It's upstate New York, upstate, like farm country and everything. And his grandparents have a nice, they live on a big property. There's rivers. There's a lot of outdoor stuff to do. And I'm like, so maybe leave the VR here. Plus, Daddy has heard about some sites that have been highly recommended in VR from a couple of buddies. So I just want to watch and make sure that I should definitely not allow you on those sites.
Gotcha.
That's what I should.
You're like, don't ever touch that VR set again. I'll get you another one. But don't touch that one.
Yeah.
We burned that one.
That's right. I can't watch you wear that after the things I know I did with that one. Yeah.
I can't watch you playing Mario jumping around.
I donated that one to the Sausage Castle. You won't see that one again. It's
put a black light on and the VR headset just glue.
Well, as far as upcoming shows go, guys, I think the next show I have coming up is not this weekend, but the following weekend. I'm out at Christy B's. I think she's got a room at the Hilton in Daytona, if I'm not mistaken. Good room, Ken?
Fire.
Yeah.
It's, bro, let me tell you something, man. I had one of them shows where everything hit. I mean, everything. I think I did 1 hour and 10, and you know me, I'm 45.
Oh, wow.
I
was it was so good, man. The set was so good, and I was shocked because it was like torrential raining. I didn't think nobody was gonna. I drove up there in like a hurricane, bro. Like it was raining like crazy. I walked in there, it was sold out. I got the bonus and everything, bro. It's
nice. How many people?
Nice.
How many people do you think it holds?
I think it can seat maybe 100, and they probably had 120.
Not huge.
It's a small room. It's not
like a little banquet room inside the Hilton.
It's not even a banquet room. It's not that big. Like, seriously, it's like the size of the other bar. Like if you take the bar area out, if the other bar was stripped, it's about the size of that.
Not Daytona, but Palm Coast, right?
Yeah, Palm Coast. Yeah.
Palm Coast.
Yeah, bro. It's a great room. And bro, I sold 25 shot glasses, so you already know.
Nice.
Dude, I love that.
It was dope. Food was terrible, but
yeah,
it's bar food, nachos, quesadillas and chicken wings.
Quesadillas.
Nice.
Dillas. Make sure those
Yeah.
L's are pronounced.
Oh, I'll
Mhm.
be there. Yeah, I think I'll be there the 25th, I believe. And then the other thing is, I just got I got a. It's funny, you guys know I went on the road with Fortune Feimster for a while on
Yes,
her
sir.
theater tour. I talked with her through Instagram, had talked through her management company through Instagram, and then after the tour, I like text them both the next day, be like, "Hey, really enjoyed the weekend. Thanks for the opportunity." Blah blah blah. That was like a month and a half, 2 months ago. Haven't heard anything back. And I'm like, whatever. People get busy and everything else. And then her agent reached out to me just 2 days ago and said, "Hey, Fortune's going to be at the Dr. Phillips Center September 10th, I believe." He's like,
Ooh,
"You want to come
nice.
open up for her?" I'm like, "I'm literally a Sunrail ride away from the Dr. Phillips Center." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there," which I'm already booked that weekend. So I'm going to have to call the booker and just explain. Yeah, it's a local gig. I should be able to move that around. Nobody should hold grudges, right? As much as
Nah.
it's funny,
Ooh,
bookers.
Miguel,
Yeah, just
tell
let me know
yeah.
who. I'll tell you how they grudge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that this weekend because the only reason I took a show last weekend was because it came with another venue that I really wanted to do as a package deal. And then a week before, I get the call that the venue I really wanted to do, they're like, "Yeah, they canceled. We're going to reschedule." Yeah, I'm like, "Well, can I cancel the other one?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, it's funny how it's such a one-way street with bookers. It's like they don't think twice. Calling you when you get out of the car in the parking lot to the venue, they're like, "Oh, they're not doing comedy tonight. Sorry about that." But if you give them a month notice, "Well, I already put your name in ink on my desk calendar. I can't possibly change that now." So
the best for me, Myke, is when you show up and they're like, "I don't know if we're gonna do this. It's not a lot of people here tonight." And I'm like, "I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters."
So that's what's going on with me. You can check out the rest of my schedule at MykeHurley.com. Follow me on TikTok, MykeHurley.com. How about you guys? You guys got any shows this weekend? What's going on, Ken?
I am off, man. I'm off for
Ken?
the month of June. June, I'm not
that's
doing any comedy, man. Just chilling. So
Yep,
I'll back on the back end, and the end of June I'll be at McCurdy's. But yeah, I'm taking June off to recharge.
What about you, Miguel? Got a show this weekend? Where are you
I
at?
don't got any shows this week, but I forgot to mention. Well, what earlier I wanted to give a shout out to Joe Neil Brunner at the Comedy Takeover because I did his room, the Brick and Spoon.
It's a good room.
That shows every Wednesday in Maitland. There's a show this week. There's a show next week. Every Wednesday. Good room, man. Solid room, man.
Nice.
Good times. People were cool. Only thing was really weird was there was a DJ in a werewolf costume.
The wolf dude?
Yeah, and
I remember that dude. He's been coming around for years, man.
Yeah, and I saw that, and the thing was nobody brought it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we got to address this.
What about you, James? You off this weekend?
No, I got a show only on Saturday. It's a corporate gig. I'm doing a charity thing in Melbourne.
Nice. Well, enjoy your downtime, guys. Check out all our schedules on our respective websites. If you like this episode or any episode, you can check out all the Real Laughs episodes, this one and past episodes on the iHeart app. We're also on Google Play, Spotify, anywhere you can listen to a podcast. Chances are we're there. And then when Ken Miller has time, he usually throws up some video clips on YouTube, so be able to check out our YouTube channel. On behalf of myself, Myke Hurley, Ken Miller, Miguel Colon Jr., and James Young, thanks for listening to all you daddies out there. Since you're not going to get anything from anyone else except this happy Father's Day from us, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace.